Hello everyone, my name is Alfonso Renteria, and today I'm going to show you how to make an apple pie. So the ingredients you're going to need are cinnamon, brown sugar, cold water, flour, granulated sugar, frozen butter and softened butter. So make sure you have those two different kinds. Salt, lemon juice actually. Apples, I like to use Granny Smiths, Fiji, or Honey Crisp. Those will all work. And that's about it. The materials we're gonna need are a hand mixer, a rolling pin, obviously a mixing bowl. I use a Cheesegrater for shredding the frozen butter, measuring cups and spoons, a peeler, a knife, and of course, last but not least, a 9-inch pie pan. To make apple pie, it takes 18 steps to make. First, we're going to start off with the crust. So for the crust of the pie, you're going to use 3 tablespoons of cold water, half a tablespoon of salt, a cup of flour, and frozen butter. Make sure it's frozen, right? Okay. So first, what we want to do is to mix the dry ingredients together. We're gonna pour in the cup of flour and the half teaspoon of salt. And we're gonna go ahead and get our hand mixer or whisk and set it on low and mix in the ingredients together. So once you think it's about mixed in, right, we're gonna get the grater and shred the frozen butter. For this purpose, I already have them shredded, right? So we're just gonna add the frozen butter. Oops, let's get the spoons. I don't want to melt this. All right. Now we're gonna mix it together. After the dry ingredients and the frozen butter are mixed together, we're gonna add the 3 tablespoons of cold water, ice cold water. So here I have my tablespoon, and I'm gonna add 3 tablespoons of water. 2. Now we're gonna mix this together. Now that that's mixed together, we're gonna use our hands to form it into a dough. So I'm gonna place it in this bowl and toss it in first. Now that we finished the crust, we can start on the filling. The filling uses a 1/4 cup of flour, 3/4 cup of granulated sugar, a 1/2 teaspoon of cinnamon, and 8 cups of apples, of sliced apples. Make sure you peel them. So you want to make sure you get them very peeled and make sure there's no skin on them, right? And we're gonna slice them into slices. So the method I like to use, I cut on the outside. I slice it around the core, just like this. And I'm gonna slice all these apples off camera, so you guys don't have to watch them. Slice all these apples. So after we slice the apples, we're gonna integrate them together. So what we're gonna do first, we have the 8 apples. Now we're gonna mix in the ingredients. So I have my 3/4 cups of sugar. I'm gonna just put that on top. Just combine them all together. The 1/4 cup of flour, and the tablespoon of lemon juice. Don't forget to add the cinnamon, the 1/2 teaspoon of cinnamon. Always make sure you taste your concoctions before you cook them. So, in this case, it tastes pretty good. It is approved. All right, now that we've mixed it all together, it should look something like this. So we're gonna set this off to the side and we're gonna start making our topping. For our topping, we're gonna need a cup of flour, 2/3 cup of brown sugar, a 1/2 cup and 2 tablespoons of softened butter. Weird calculations, but that's what I like. That's how I get the best results. And 1 tablespoon of granulated sugar. What we're gonna do is put our sugar, brown sugar, cup of flour, and granulated sugar, tablespoon of granulated sugar together. We're gonna go ahead and mix it with my hand mixer. Now that's all mixed in, we're gonna add the softened butter. Oh, this one might be too soft. Make sure it's softened and not melted. Yeah, we don't want melted butter in this thing. So now we're gonna mix it together again with my hand mixer. I'm gonna actually set this in the fridge because I don't like the way it looks. So now that we're done with that, we can take out our crust again. And we're gonna start assembling the pie. So what you wanna do is clean off your counter space. You wanna make sure everything is nice and clean. Rolling out the dough, what I like to use is a 1/4 cup of flour for rolling purposes. I just use a little bit at a time. So I flour the counter space just like this. And now we're gonna grab our dough, place a little bit of flour on it. Let me just pinch it. Roll out in from the inside of the dough outward. What you do with these little torn areas, you just mold them back together. Don't want them cooking too much. Now that the dough is rolled out, you can just set it off to the side. Bring out the pan. And then I use my extra butter to layer the pan. Now we can set our rolled out dough, onto the pan. Just like this. Oops. Now we can slowly let it sink in and outline the whole entire pan. Making sure we don't want to rip it. But don't want to rip the pan or the dough. Now we have a nice setting for our apples, to place our apples in. You guys shouldn't be looking at all this mess. Don't mind the mess. I'm just gonna curve over these edges. And we're gonna start tucking them in. So what I like to do is roll the dough in, fold it in, and then if you have a little bit too much crust, just peel it off. If you make an oopsies, you can just weld the dough back together. It typically goes. Now that we have the desired crust around our edges, we can make them into any shape you want. I'm not going to do any shaping right now because this pan is really thin. So now I'm going to grab my filling that we set off to the side. We're going to slowly spoon it in to the crust. Yeah. Apple pie. If you like apple pie, like, comment, and subscribe to this channel. Now that we've filled up our apples, we want to make sure we get every edge. We don't want to leave any without apples. Alright. I like to make sure it's kind of flush. Obviously, it's not perfect. They're apples. So. Now, we're going to add our topping that's in the fridge. Yours might look better. This is more of the consistency of that you want. Where it's kind of crumbly, but not too grainy where it's like a sand. You want it to clump together like this. Now I'm gonna add the topping on to the apple pie on top of my filling. Okay. So it kind of looks like a tower. I'm just gonna slowly shift all the crust to the sides. Now we have a little bit extra dough, a little bit extra topping, and a little bit of extra apples. What I like to do is get a mug and throw all those ingredients in there. Make a quick little small apple pie taste tester kind of thing. Oh my gosh, I forgot to preheat the oven. Oh my. After you make your filling, you should preheat your oven. So you want to preheat your oven to 400 degrees Fahrenheit, and we're gonna bake the pie for about 45 to 50 minutes, or until this has kind of like caramelized or browned. That we've preheated the oven, we can place our pie. Place the pie in, and we're gonna put a timer for 45 minutes. Oops, that is not right. No. Alright. See you in 45 minutes.
Yeah. 3, 2.
So I got the oven mitts. Alright, so we get your oven mitts. It's been 45 minutes. Oh, I guess you don't have to take them out yet. Just have them available. We're gonna check on the apple pie. That looks pretty golden brown, looks ready. So I'm gonna go ahead and grab it.
Remember, kids, safety first.
Safety first. I'm just gonna place it right here. You can place it on any metal rack that you have. Just let it cool for 30 minutes. Then you can slice it and enjoy that piece of apple pie. You're welcome. Thanks. Bye. You can leave now. Go on. Go comment. Go watch another video. Why are you still here?